Happy Passover, Chag Sameach. It is a wonderful opportunity that I have to be able to share a video recording with you, a greeting for this holiday. Stephen Gross was gracious. He was going to record a different project with us, and Man tracht und God lacht. Humans plan and God laughs. And the other project didn't happen today, but we had an opportunity for me to record, and a big thank you to Stephen, all that he does for the community and just all the support that he offers to the congregations and also to the rabbis. As we are here on this day of Passover, in this festival of Passover, in this week of Passover, we are telling the story of the Exodus from Egypt, when our ancestors were in a stuck and narrow place. They were in Mitzrayim, which has the same root as Suris, and through the plagues, they are able to go from slavery and degradation with God's help and support with all of those miracles and marvels. They're able to get to the sea, and the sea splits, and the people of Israel are able to march out in freedom, and the waters close up on the Egyptians. The people of Israel are free after hundreds of years in slavery and servitude to Pharaoh and to his armies. So this is the story we tell in all of these different ways that we tell them. And we're reminded for each of us to celebrate those ways and those places that we are able to get from the places where we are stuck to the places where we are free. Where we are free to celebrate with family and friends. Where we are free to be able to do acts of tzedakah, to do acts of justice and righteousness. We are free to do acts of tikkun olam, to look for where there is brokenness in our world and reach out, whether it was with a kind word, even just a smile, to soften somebody's life, to lift somebody's life, to sweeten somebody's life. And here on this holiday, as we celebrate going from slavery and degradation, going to freedom, remember those two acts of dipping that we do. One of them is dipping the sweet greens, the karpas, very often parsley, into salt water. And then what are we doing? We're then taking the maror, bitter herb, very often we're using horseradish, and we mix it with our charoset, our sweet compote. For many of us, apples and walnuts and wine, and for some of us, figs and dates and apricots. We're taking that sweet fruit and combining it with the bitter of maror. And so think about both of those incredible symbols. On one hand, we have the sweetness, the reminder of rebirth and spring, mixing with our tears of sadness and loss. And the other, we have the charoset. What an incredible symbol, because it means two different things. On one hand, it's sweet to remind us of how sweetness sustains us, and it also reminds us of the mortar, the bricks, the heaviness that our people carried. And the same goes for the bitter herb. On one hand, we have these herbs, which are another sign of spring. They are sprouting and renewed. And on the other, their flavor, their taste is bitter. We keep finding ways as Jews to remember both of those sides of the equation. Both the bitterness, the sadness, the slavery, the hardship, and the challenge, and to remember the sweetness, to remember the joy, to remember what sustains us, to remember those moments of rebirth and acts of renewal. And so in this holiday, as we go from our stuck and narrow places to places of our freedom, may we find ways of not just combining the sweet and the salty, the sweet and the bitter, but finding those ways of supporting each other, lifting each other, that we can move from negativity to move to the positive, to do that act of helping everyone find that place of shalom, of wholeness, harmony, and peace. Thank you, Chag Sameach, and happy Passover.